A poor waitress wore a necklace the billionaire's mother recognized. The truth sent her into tears. One piece of jewelry. 2 lives. A secret that should have stayed buried. The necklace was nothing special. At least, that's what Anna Bennett had always believed. Just a simple silver chain with a small blue stone, the only thing her mother left her before dying in a car crash 15 years ago. Anna wore it on bad days, when the weight of 2 jobs and an empty apartment felt too heavy. When she needed to remember that someone had once loved her. Today was one of those days. She was carrying drinks to table 7 at the Royal Oak, the fanciest restaurant in the city, where people spent more on one meal than Anna earned in a week, when everything changed. The older woman at the table looked up, saw the necklace, and dropped her wine glass. It shattered on the floor, red liquid spreading like blood across white marble, but the woman didn't even notice. She was staring at Anna's throat with an expression of pure shock. "That necklace," she whispered. "Where did you get that necklace?" Anna's hand went to her chest protectively. "It was my mother's." "Why?" The woman stood up so fast her chair fell backward. Her face had gone completely white. "That's impossible," she breathed. "That's impossible because I buried my daughter wearing that exact necklace 20 years ago." The entire restaurant went quiet. Anna felt the floor shift beneath her feet. "You're mistaken. My mother bought this at..." "What was your mother's name?" The woman's voice was shaking now. "Sarah. Sarah Bennett. Her maiden name." "What was her maiden name?" Anna's throat went dry. I don't know. She never talked about her past." The woman's companion, a younger man in an expensive suit, stood up beside her. "Mother, what's going on?" But the older woman was moving closer to Anna now, tears streaming down her perfectly made-up face. "How old are you?" 23. "Oh my God." The woman's hand flew to her mouth. "Oh my God, look at her face, Daniel. Look at her eyes. Those are Sarah's eyes." The man, Daniel, stared at Anna with growing shock. "That's not possible. Sarah died in a boating accident. We went to her funeral." "Did we?" the woman asked, her voice cracking. "Or did we bury someone else? Because if this girl is 23 years old, and Sarah disappeared for 9 months when she was 19 before she supposedly died." She couldn't finish the sentence. Anna's heart was pounding. "What are you saying?" The older woman reached out with trembling fingers, stopping just short of touching Anna's face. "I'm saying that my daughter Sarah disappeared 24 years ago. She told me she was studying abroad, but I think she was pregnant." Fresh tears fell. "And 4 months after she came back, she died in a boat explosion. They said it was an accident. But the body was so badly burned they could only identify her by the jewelry she was wearing." She pointed at Anna's necklace. "That jewelry. That exact necklace. One of a kind. Custom made for her 18th birthday." Anna took a step back. "No. You're wrong. My mother died 15 years ago in Ohio. She was a waitress. She was nobody special. She was my daughter," the woman said, her voice breaking completely. "And if you're wearing her necklace, if you're 23 years old, if you have her eyes," she sobbed, "then you're my granddaughter. And everything I believed about my daughter's death is a lie." The man, Daniel, pulled out his phone with shaking hands. "What was your mother's full name? Date of birth?" "I don't understand what's happening," Anna said, but even as she spoke, pieces were clicking together in her mind. The way her mother never talked about the past. The way they moved to a new city every few years. The way her mother would panic whenever someone asked too many questions. The lockbox her mother made her promise never to open unless something happened to her. "If anything happens to me, baby, you take that box and run. Don't trust anyone. Promise me." "Anna?" A voice cut through her thoughts. The restaurant manager. "Is everything all right?" but Anna couldn't answer. Because the woman was showing her a photo on her phone, a young girl, maybe 18, with dark hair and green eyes. Eyes exactly like Anna's. "This is my daughter Sarah," the woman whispered. "Sarah Hastings. She died, or I thought she died, 20 years ago." Hastings. The name hit Anna like a physical blow. Because she'd seen that name before, hidden in her mother's things. On old documents her mother thought she'd destroyed. "My name is Victoria Hastings," the woman continued. "And this is my son, Daniel." She took a shaky breath. "The Hastings family. Maybe you've heard of us?" Anna had. Everyone had. Hastings Industries. Billions of dollars. One of the most powerful families in the country. "This is insane," Anna breathed. "Is it?" Daniel asked quietly. "Because I'm looking at you, and you're the image of my sister. Same face. Same eyes. Even the same way of standing." His voice was tight. "If Sarah didn't die in that boat, if she survived and had a baby and went into hiding, why would she do that?" Victoria demanded, her voice rising. "Why would my daughter let me think she was dead for 20 years? Why would she hide from her own family?" "Maybe," Daniel said slowly, his expression darkening, "because she was running from something. Or someone." Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Before we dive deeper into Anna's story, I want to know, where are you watching from right now? Drop your city or country in the comments. And if you're new here and haven't hit that subscribe button yet, what are you waiting for? This story is about to take some wild turns, and you don't want to miss a single moment. Subscribe now. Okay, back to what's happening. The manager insisted they move to a private room. Too many people were watching, phones out, recording everything. Anna found herself sitting across from two strangers who claimed to be her family, her hands shaking so badly she had to clasp them in her lap. Victoria couldn't stop staring at her. "Tell me about her." "About Sarah." "Your mother." Anna swallowed hard. "She worked hard. 2, sometimes 3 jobs. We didn't have much money, but she made sure I had everything I needed." Her voice caught. "She died when I was 8. Car accident. I went into foster care after that." Victoria's sob was quiet but painful to hear. "She was alone," she whispered. "All those years, she was alone and struggling, and I didn't know. I couldn't help her." "Why did she run?" Anna asked. "If you're really her mother, if she came from money, why would she leave all that and live in poverty?" Daniel and Victoria exchanged a look. 3 weeks before the boat accident, Victoria said slowly, "Sarah came to me. She was upset, scared. She said she'd found something. Something about the family business that wasn't right." "What kind of something?" Anna asked. "She wouldn't tell me details. Said it was safer if I didn't know." Victoria's hands twisted in her lap. "She said she had proof. Documents. Evidence of something illegal. She wanted to know what to do." Anna's mouth went dry. "What did you tell her?" "I told her she was being dramatic," Victoria admitted, fresh tears falling. "I told her to stop making up stories and to focus on her studies. I didn't believe her." Her voice cracked. "And 2 weeks later, she was dead. Or she faked her death," Daniel added grimly. "Because she knew whatever she'd found was dangerous enough to get her killed." Anna thought of the lockbox at home. The one she'd never opened because she'd promised her mother. The one she'd been too scared to look inside. "Did she leave anything when she died?" Daniel asked, watching her face carefully. "Papers? Documents? Anything from before you were born?" Anna hesitated. These people were strangers. Yes, they claimed to be family, but her mother had spent 15 years running from something. Hiding from someone. What if they were the reason? "I need proof," she said finally. "That you're who you say you are. That my mother was really your daughter." Victoria nodded, wiping her eyes. Of course. The necklace, may I see it? Anna unclasped it with reluctant fingers and handed it over. Victoria turned it over, and her sob confirmed what Anna already suspected. There's an inscription, Victoria whispered. On the back. I had it engraved. She showed Anna the tiny words etched into the metal. My brightest star. I called her that, Victoria said softly. My bright star. Because she lit up every room she entered. She looked at Anna with devastating hope in her eyes. Did she ever mention me? Her family? Anna shook her head. She said her family was dead. That it was just the two of us. The words clearly hurt, but Victoria nodded. If she was running from something dangerous, she couldn't risk contact. Couldn't risk leading them to you. Leading who? Anna demanded. What was she running from? That's what we need to find out, Daniel said. He leaned forward, his expression intense. You said your mother died in a car accident 15 years ago. Where? Columbus, Ohio. And the driver? Was anyone else hurt? Anna frowned. The other driver died too. They said it was just a tragic accident. Daniel was typing on his phone. What was the other driver's name? I don't remember. I was 8. Why does it? Because, Daniel interrupted, turning his phone toward her. 3 months ago I started investigating irregularities in our family's business. Money that doesn't add up. Offshore accounts. Shell corporations. His voice was tight. And last month, the forensic accountant I hired died in a car accident. Single vehicle. They said the driver had a heart attack. Ice flooded Anna's veins. You think someone killed her? I think, Daniel said carefully, that people who get too close to whatever secrets my family is hiding tend to die in convenient accidents. Victoria's face had gone pale. Daniel, you don't really believe. Mother, Sarah found something 20 years ago that scared her enough to fake her death. Now, 20 years later, I'm finding the same kinds of irregularities, and people are dying again. He looked at Anna. Your mother spent 15 years in hiding. She kept you safe all that time. But eventually, they found her. You're saying someone murdered my mother. Anna's voice came out flat. Emotionless. Because if she let herself feel it, she'd shatter. I'm saying it's possible, Daniel replied. And if they did, it means whatever she found, whatever proof she had, is still out there. Still dangerous. Anna thought of the lockbox. Don't open it unless something happens to me. Something had happened. There is a box, she said slowly. My mother left me a box. She made me promise to keep it safe. To never open it. Both Daniel and Victoria went very still. Have you opened it? Daniel asked. Anna shook her head. Where is it? At home. In my apartment. Daniel stood immediately. We need to get it. Now. If someone is still looking for whatever Sarah took, and if they find out you exist, they'll come after me, Anna finished, her voice hollow. Victoria reached across the table, her hand covering Anna's. Then we protect you. Together. As a family. The word felt foreign. Impossible. Family. Anna had been alone since she was 8 years old. Foster homes, group homes, aging out of the system at 18 with nothing but a high school diploma and her mother's lockbox. Now these people were telling her she'd never been alone at all. That she had a family. Wealth. A history she'd never known. But they were also telling her that her mother might have been murdered. That Anna herself might be in danger. If I show you what's in that box, Anna said carefully, and it's what you think it is, what happens then? Daniel's expression was hard. Then we finish what Sarah started. We expose whatever corruption she found. We make sure her death meant something. Even if it destroys your family's business? If our business is built on lies and murder, Daniel said flatly, then it deserves to be destroyed. Victoria nodded, though Anna could see the pain in her eyes. Your mother, my daughter, died protecting whatever truth she found. We owe it to her to see it through. Anna looked between them. These strangers who claimed to be her family. She thought of her mother's face. The way she'd smiled despite her fear. The way she'd worked herself to exhaustion to keep them fed. The way she'd whispered I love you with her last breath. Okay, Anna said. Let's go get the box. Drop a comment right now, do you think Anna should trust them? What do you think is in that box? And if you're hooked on this story, hit that subscribe button. You need to see what happens next. Fire. Anna's apartment was a 40-minute drive from the Royal Oak. 40 minutes sitting in the back of Daniel's sleek black Mercedes, watching the city blur past, trying to process that her entire life might have been a lie. Victoria sat beside her, still stealing glances like Anna might disappear if she looked away too long. The older woman's hands were clasped tightly in her lap, her knuckles white against the expensive fabric of her dress. I live in a bad neighborhood, Anna said quietly, breaking the heavy silence. It's not what you're probably used to. I don't care if you live in a cardboard box, Victoria said fiercely. You're my granddaughter. That's all that matters. But Anna saw Daniel's jaw tighten as they pulled into her neighborhood, chain-link fences, graffiti-tagged walls, broken streetlights. This was the world Anna knew. The world her mother had kept her in to stay hidden. To stay safe. Her building was a crumbling 5-story walk-up. The elevator hadn't worked in 3 years. Third floor, Anna said, leading them upstairs that smelled like cigarettes and mildew. She was acutely aware of how small her studio apartment would look to them. How pathetic her second-hand furniture and thrift store decorations would seem to people who lived in mansions. But when she unlocked the door and they stepped inside, Victoria didn't look disgusted. She looked heartbroken. Sarah lived like this, she whispered, taking in the cramped space, the hot plate instead of a real stove, the mattress on the floor. All those years, she lived in places like this, and I was in a penthouse thinking she was dead. She did what she had to do, Anna said defensively. She kept us safe. I know. Victoria's voice cracked. I just wish. I wish she'd trusted me enough to ask for help. Maybe she did, Daniel said quietly. And maybe that's what got her killed. The words hung in the air like smoke. Anna moved to her tiny closet and pulled out a box from the back corner. Cardboard, sealed with duct tape, her mother's handwriting across the top. For Anna, do not open. Her hands trembled as she set it on the small folding table. I've kept this for 15 years, Anna said. Never opened it. She made me promise. You've been carrying this secret alone all this time? Victoria asked softly. Anna nodded. I didn't know it was a secret. I just thought. I thought it was my mom being paranoid. She was always so scared of everything. I figured the box just had sentimental stuff. But you never looked, Daniel observed. I promised her I wouldn't. Anna's voice was barely above a whisper. And keeping promises to my mom was all I had left of her. Victoria's eyes filled with tears again. She raised you right. She raised you to be loyal and strong. She reached out hesitantly, and this time Anna didn't pull away when Victoria touched her hand. Sarah would be so proud of you. Anna felt something crack inside her chest. She'd spent 15 years alone. 15 years thinking she had no one. And now this woman, this stranger who might be her grandmother, was looking at her with such fierce love that it hurt. Should I open it? Anna asked. Daniel nodded. Whatever's inside, we face it together. Anna took a deep breath and broke the seal. Inside, the contents were carefully organized in plastic bags. A thick manila envelope stuffed with papers. A USB drive in a small case. Several old photographs. A birth certificate. And a letter addressed to Anna in her mother's handwriting. Anna's hand shook as she picked up the letter. The paper was yellow with age, the ink slightly faded. Her mother must have written it years ago, knowing that someday Anna would read it. Knowing that someday she'd be gone. "Read it out loud," Victoria whispered. "Please. I need to hear her words." Anna unfolded the letter, her vision already blurring with tears. "My darling Anna. If you're reading this, then my worst fear has come true. I'm so sorry, baby. I tried so hard to keep you safe. I tried so hard to give us more time. By now, you've probably met people claiming to be your family. They might have shown you pictures. Told you stories about a girl named Sarah Hastings who died before you were born. They're telling the truth. I was Sarah Hastings. Daughter of Victoria and Thomas Hastings. Sister to Daniel. Born into wealth and privilege and a world that seemed perfect from the outside. But it wasn't perfect, Anna. It was rotten underneath all the shine. When I was 19, I found documents in my father's office. Contracts. Bank transfers. Proof that Hastings Industries wasn't just a real estate company. It was a front for something much darker. Money laundering. Illegal weapons deals. Funding for criminal organizations. My father had partnerships with people who hurt others for profit. People who destroyed lives to make themselves richer. I was young and stupid and idealistic. I thought if I showed the evidence to my mother, she'd help me stop it. But she didn't believe me. She thought I was making it up for attention. So I went to my father. And he smiled at me, Anna. He smiled and told me I was right. That I was smart to figure it out. That I could join the family business properly now that I understood how things really worked. He didn't see anything wrong with what he was doing. I refused. I told him I was going to the authorities. That I was going to expose everything. 2 days later, I was on a boat that exploded. I almost died. The woman I was with, a friend from college who was in the wrong place at the wrong time, she didn't make it. I watched her burn, Anna. I watched her die because of me. And I realized my father had tried to kill me. So I let them think I was dead. I took the evidence and ran. I changed my name. I disappeared. I found out I was pregnant 3 months later. You were my miracle, baby. My reason to keep going when I wanted to give up. I've spent your entire life running. Hiding. Looking over my shoulder. I know I wasn't the mother you deserved. I know you never understood why we had to move so much, why I was always so scared. But I would do it all again to keep you safe. The USB drive has everything. Every document. Every contract. Every piece of evidence that proves what Hastings Industries really is. You have a choice to make now, Anna. You can destroy it all and walk away. Live a normal life. Forget about the Hastings family and their dirty money. Or you can finish what I started. Take that evidence and expose the truth. Make sure my death, and the death of everyone else who tried to stop them, meant something. Whatever you choose, know this, I love you more than life itself. You were worth every scared night, every cheap apartment, every sacrifice I made. You are my greatest achievement. My brightest light in a dark world. If you decide to fight, be careful. Trust Daniel if he's still the good man I remember. Trust Victoria, she never knew the truth about what Thomas was doing. But trust yourself most of all. You're stronger than you know, Anna. You're braver than you believe. And you are so, so loved. Forever and always. Mom. Anna's tears fell onto the paper, smudging the ink. Victoria was openly sobbing now, her carefully composed exterior completely shattered. She was alone all those years. Scared and alone with a child, and I could have helped her if she'd just. She couldn't risk it, Daniel said, but his voice was rough with emotion. If father tried to kill her once, he would have tried again. She was protecting you too, mother. If you'd known she was alive, he might have used you to find her. He picked up the USB drive with steady hands, but Anna could see the tension in his shoulders. Thomas died 5 years ago, Victoria said, wiping her eyes. Whatever he did, he can't hurt anyone anymore. But the people he worked with might still be out there, Daniel countered. The contracts, the partnerships, some of those might still be active. He looked at Anna. May I? Anna nodded. Daniel pulled out his laptop and inserted the drive. The silence as he read was suffocating. Anna watched his face go from tense to pale to absolutely furious. Jesus Christ, he breathed. This is... Mother, you need to see this. Victoria moved to look over his shoulder, and Anna watched the color drain from her face. That's not possible, Victoria whispered. Thomas wouldn't, he couldn't. He did. Daniel's voice was hard as stone. Weapons sales to terrorist organizations. Money laundering through dummy corporations. Bribes to government officials in at least 6 countries. He scrolled further, his expression darkening with every line. There are names here. Current board members. People still working for Hastings Industries. Anna's stomach dropped. You're saying this is still happening? I'm saying, Daniel said grimly, that Sarah's death didn't stop anything. They just buried the evidence and kept going. He turned the laptop toward them, showing a spreadsheet of transactions. These are from 2 months ago. Current accounts. Current deals. Victoria sank into Anna's rickety chair like her legs wouldn't hold her anymore. All these years, she whispered. All these years I've been running a company built on blood money. I've been profiting from murder. You didn't know, Anna said, surprising herself by feeling sympathy for this woman she'd just met. I should have known. Victoria's voice broke. Sarah tried to tell me. My daughter came to me for help and I dismissed her. I called her dramatic. I didn't believe her. She looked at Anna with devastated eyes. And she died because of it. The woman on the boat died because of it, Daniel corrected quietly. Sarah survived. She had you, Anna. She had 15 more years of life. Until someone caught up with her, Anna said. The room fell silent. Daniel pulled up another file. The car accident that killed Sarah. Do you remember any details? Anna searched her memory. It was raining. The other driver crossed the center line. They said he had a heart attack. His name? I don't remember. I was 8. Daniel was already typing, searching databases Anna didn't have access to. His face went very still. The other driver was Marcus Webb. 42 years old. Worked as a contractor. He looked up. For a private security firm called Sentinel Solutions. Why does that matter? Anna asked. Because, Daniel said, his voice tight, Sentinel Solutions is owned by a shell corporation that's owned by another shell corporation that, according to these documents, is ultimately controlled by Hastings Industries. The words hung in the air like a death sentence. You're saying someone from your company killed my mother, Anna said flatly. I'm saying the timing is suspicious, Daniel replied. And I'm saying we need to be very careful about who we trust. Victoria stood abruptly. We go to the authorities. Right now. We turn over all this evidence and let them handle it. To which authorities? Daniel challenged. These documents show bribes to police chiefs, prosecutors, judges. We don't know how deep the corruption goes. Then what do we do? Victoria demanded. We need someone we can trust, Daniel said. Someone outside the family influence. A journalist, maybe, or... His phone rang, cutting him off. He looked at the screen and frowned. It's my assistant. I need to take this. He answered, listened for a moment, and his face went pale. When? I see. No, don't tell anyone where I am. I'll handle it. He hung up and looked at them with barely controlled panic. What? Victoria asked. Someone broke into my office an hour ago, Daniel said. They didn't take anything, but they accessed my computer. My assistant just noticed the security alert. Anna's blood ran cold. What was on your computer? Research, Daniel said grimly. Notes about the investigation. References to Sarah. References to looking for evidence. They know, Anna breathed. They know you're looking into this. Which means they'll be looking for anyone connected to Sarah, Daniel said. He grabbed the USB drive and shoved it in his pocket. We need to move. Now. Move where? Victoria demanded. Somewhere safe while we figure out. The building's fire alarm started blaring. All three of them froze. That could be a coincidence, Victoria said, but she didn't sound convinced. Daniel moved to the window and looked down at the street. Anna watched his jaw clench. There are 2 black SUVs parked outside. Engines running. 3 men watching the exits. Anna's apartment suddenly felt like a cage. The fire escape, she said quickly. Back window. It leads to the alley. They'll have that covered too, Daniel said, but he was already moving. He opened the back window carefully, peering out. I don't see anyone yet, but... A sound from the hallway made them all freeze. Footsteps. Heavy. Multiple people. Coming closer. Go, Daniel said urgently. Fire escape. Now. Victoria went first, surprisingly agile despite her age and expensive heels. Anna grabbed the box, she couldn't leave it, couldn't abandon the only pieces of her mother she had left. Daniel was right behind her when someone started pounding on the door. Fire department. We need everyone to evacuate. Except it wasn't the fire department. Anna had heard that tone before, in movies, in nightmares. That was the voice of someone who was used to being obeyed. Someone dangerous. They climbed down the fire escape as fast as they dared, the metal rattling beneath their feet. Behind them, Anna heard the sound of her apartment door being kicked in. Shouts. More footsteps. They're coming. Victoria gasped. They hit the alley running. Daniel pulled out his keys, clicking the button. The Mercedes chirped from the street beyond. We'll never make it, Anna panted. But Daniel was already thinking ahead. Split up. Mother, you go left. Circle around. Anna, with me. No. Victoria protested. We stay together. They're looking for Anna. Daniel said urgently. You'll be safer alone. Go to the Peninsula Hotel. Check in under your maiden name. We'll contact you when it's safe. For a moment, Victoria hesitated. Then she grabbed Anna's face between her hands and kissed her forehead. Be safe, child, she whispered. I just found you. I can't lose you too. Then she was gone, running toward the street in her expensive heels like her life depended on it. Maybe it did. Daniel grabbed Anna's hand and pulled her in the opposite direction, deeper into the maze of alleys behind the building. Behind them, Anna heard shouting. The sound of people giving chase. What would you do in Anna's situation? Run or fight? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, this story is getting more intense by the second. Fire. They ran. Through alleys that stank of garbage and rot. Past homeless people who barely looked up. Around corners, over fences, through parking lots. Anna's lungs were burning. The box was heavy in her arms, but she refused to let it go. Her mother had died protecting this evidence. Anna wouldn't abandon it now. In here, Daniel gasped, pulling her into an abandoned warehouse. They collapsed behind a stack of old crates, both of them breathing hard. For a moment, there was only the sound of their ragged gasps and the distant wail of sirens. Are you okay? Daniel asked. Anna nodded, though her heart was hammering so hard she felt sick. Who were those people? I don't know, Daniel admitted. But they knew where to find us. Which means someone's been watching. He pulled out his phone, then swore softly. No signal. What do we do now? Daniel was quiet for a moment, thinking. Then he looked at her, and there was something new in his expression. Something fierce and determined. We fight back, he said. Sarah spent 20 years running. She died running. But we're not going to run anymore. They'll kill us, Anna said. Maybe, Daniel agreed. Or maybe we kill them first. He saw her expression and clarified, metaphorically. We destroy them the way Sarah wanted to. We expose everything. We make sure the whole world knows what Hastings Industries really is. How? Daniel thought for a moment. I know someone. A journalist. She's been investigating corporate corruption for years. She's trustworthy. And she's ambitious enough to take on a story this big. What if they get to her too? Then we find someone else. And someone else after that. We keep fighting until someone listens. He looked at Anna intently. But I need to know you're with me. This is your choice. You can walk away right now. I'll give you money, help you disappear. You can live a quiet life somewhere far away from all this. Anna thought about her mother. About 15 years of fear and running and sacrifice. About the woman on the boat who died in Sarah's place. About all the other victims mentioned in those documents, people hurt by weapons sold for profit, lives destroyed by greed. I'm not walking away, Anna said firmly. My mother didn't raise a coward. Daniel smiled, the first real smile she'd seen from him. No. She definitely didn't. He pulled out the USB drive and looked at it. This is dangerous. Maybe we should make copies. Hide them in different locations. We'd need a computer, Anna pointed out. There's an internet cafe 3 blocks from here. Should still be open. They waited another 10 minutes, listening for any sound of pursuit. When they heard nothing, they carefully made their way out of the warehouse. The streets were dark now, the city settling into its nighttime rhythm. Anna stayed close to Daniel, hyper-aware of every car, every person, every shadow. The internet cafe was a dingy little place, half the computers broken, the clerk more interested in his phone than his customers. Daniel paid cash for an hour of time and sat down at the most secluded terminal. Anna watched over his shoulder as he copied the files, then began uploading them to an encrypted cloud server. What's this? She asked, pointing to a folder labeled Current. Daniel opened it. Inside were contracts dated from the last 2 years. Current deals. Active partnerships. And names. Dozens of names. Board members. Executives. Government officials. These people are all still involved, Daniel said grimly. All still profiting. One name jumped out at Anna, Richard Chin, CFO, Hastings Industries. I know him, Daniel said. He's worked for the company for 15 years. He reports directly to me. His voice was hollow. I've had lunch with this man. Trusted him. And the whole time he's been. He didn't finish. Didn't need to. Anna put her hand on his shoulder. It's not your fault. You didn't know. I should have known, Daniel said, echoing his mother's words. I've been CEO for 2 years. I should have seen this. They hid it well, Anna said. They've been hiding it for decades. Daniel copied the last file and ejected the USB drive. Done. I've sent copies to 3 different servers. If something happens to us, the evidence still exists. Comforting, Anna muttered. He almost smiled. Then his expression turned serious. Anna, I need you to understand something. When we expose this, it's going to destroy everything. The company will collapse. The Hastings name will be ruined. People will lose their jobs, good people who had nothing to do with the corruption. Are you having second thoughts? Anna asked. No, Daniel said firmly. I'm just making sure you understand the cost. This isn't a clean victory. It's going to be messy and painful, and there will be collateral damage. Anna thought of her mother's letter. Make sure my death meant something. I understand, she said. And I still want to do this. Daniel nodded. Then we do it together. They left the cafe and started walking, staying in populated areas where there were witnesses, where someone trying to hurt them would have to be more careful. Where are we going? Anna asked. To meet my journalist friend. Her name is Rachel Chen, no relation to Richard, thank God. She lives in Chinatown. He checked his watch. If we hurry, we can make it before midnight. They walked in silence for a while, the city humming around them. Can I ask you something? Anna said finally. Anything. What was she like? My mother. Before she disappeared. When she was Sarah. Daniel's expression softened. She was bright. That's the word that always comes to mind. She lit up every room she walked into. She was passionate about everything, art, music, justice. He smiled sadly. She used to drive father crazy with her questions. She never just accepted what she was told. She always had to understand why. That sounds like my mom, Anna said quietly. She was always teaching me to question things. To think for myself. She was 8 years older than me, Daniel continued. But she always had time for her annoying little brother. She'd take me to museums, to concerts. She taught me that money doesn't make you better than anyone else. His voice caught. When I thought she died, it broke something in me. I spent years angry at the world. And now? Now I'm angry at the right people, Daniel said. The people who took her from us. The people who made her spend 20 years in fear. He looked at Anna. I'm angry at my own father for being the kind of man who would kill his own daughter to protect his secrets. Do you think he was the one who ordered the car accident? Anna asked. The one that killed my mom? Daniel was quiet for a long moment. Father died 6 years ago. The accident that killed Sarah was 15 years ago. So no, he didn't order it directly. But he set things in motion, Anna said. He created a system where people would do anything to protect the company's secrets. Yes, Daniel agreed. He built a machine designed to destroy anyone who threatened it. And that machine is still running. Still killing. They turned onto a quieter street, the lights dimmer here. We're close, Daniel said. Rachel's apartment is just. He stopped. A black SUV was parked across the street. The same make and model as the ones outside Anna's building. Keep walking, Daniel said quietly. Don't look at it. Act natural. They continued down the sidewalk, Anna's heart hammering. The SUV's engine started. Run, Daniel said. They ran. Behind them, tires squealed. The SUV jumped the curb, coming straight at them. Daniel pulled Anna into a narrow alley, too narrow for the SUV to follow. They heard it screech to a stop, heard car doors opening. This way. Daniel gasped, pulling her deeper into the maze of back streets. They could hear footsteps behind them. Multiple sets. Getting closer. Anna's lungs were on fire. The box was so heavy, but she couldn't drop it, couldn't. Daniel pulled her into a recessed doorway. In here. Quick. He tried the door. Locked. The footsteps were getting closer. Anna could hear voices now. Men's voices. Coordinating. Hunting. Daniel looked around desperately. There was nowhere to go. The alley was a dead end. They were trapped. The footsteps were 20 feet away. Daniel pulled Anna behind a dumpster, both of them pressing against the grimy brick wall, trying to make themselves invisible in the shadows. Anna clutched the box to her chest, barely daring to breathe. 3 men entered the alley, their silhouettes backlit by the streetlights behind them. They were dressed in dark clothes, professional, moving with the coordination of people who'd done this before. They came this way, one of them said, his voice calm. Too calm. Dead end. They're here somewhere. Anna felt Daniel's hand tighten around hers. One of the men pulled out a flashlight and began sweeping it across the alley. The beam moved closer, inch by inch, illuminating garbage bags, broken bottles, graffiti-covered walls. In seconds, it would reach their hiding spot. Anna closed her eyes, thinking of her mother. Wondering if this was how Sarah had felt in the moments before the boat exploded. Terrified. Trapped. Knowing death was coming. The flashlight beam swung toward the dumpster. And then a voice rang out from the mouth of the alley, NYPD. Drop your weapons. The beam snapped away. Anna heard cursing, the sound of running feet. Go, 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 one of the men shouted. More footsteps. Receding. The three men were retreating back the way they'd come. Then silence. Daniel and Anna stayed frozen for a long moment, not daring to move. Finally, a figure appeared at the entrance to the alley. A woman, mid-30s, wearing jeans and a leather jacket. She definitely wasn't NYPD. Daniel Hastings, she called out. If you're in here, you can come out. They're gone. Daniel hesitated, then stepped out from behind the dumpster, pulling Anna with him. The woman looked them over with sharp, assessing eyes. You look like hell. Rachel? Daniel said. In the flesh. The woman, Rachel, jerked her head toward the street. My apartment's 2 blocks from here. We should move before they come back with reinforcements. How did you know we were here? Daniel asked suspiciously. Because you called my number 20 minutes ago from an internet cafe 3 blocks away. I've got alerts set up for calls from certain people. She looked pointedly at Anna. And because I've been investigating Hastings Industries for 6 months. When the CEO suddenly goes off the grid the same day someone breaks into his office, I pay attention. Daniel and Anna exchanged glances. Can we trust her? Anna whispered. Do we have a choice? Daniel whispered back. They didn't. Rachel led them through a series of back streets, moving with confidence through the dark. She kept checking over her shoulder, one hand in her jacket pocket like she was holding something. A weapon, Anna realized. This woman was armed. Rachel's apartment was a 4th-floor walk-up above a Chinese restaurant. The smell of cooking oil and spices filled the stairwell. Inside, the apartment was small but organized, one wall completely covered with a massive corkboard full of photos, newspaper clippings, and strings connecting different pieces of information. Anna's eyes widened. Because at the center of that board was a photograph of her mother. Not recent. This was Sarah Hastings at 18, smiling at some gala event, wearing an elegant dress and the sapphire necklace. You've been investigating my mother, Anna breathed. Rachel turned to look at her, really look at her, and something shifted in her expression. Holy shit, she said softly. You're her daughter, aren't you? Sarah's daughter. How did you? The eyes. You have her exact eyes. Rachel moved to her board, touching the photo of Sarah. I've been researching the Hastings family for months. Sarah's death never sat right with me. Too convenient. Too many inconsistencies in the official story. She turned back to them. I thought I was chasing a 20-year-old cover-up. I didn't realize. She looked at Anna with something like awe. I didn't realize Sarah had a child. That she survived. She didn't survive, Anna said quietly. She died 15 years ago. Car accident. Or murder, Daniel added grimly. Rachel's expression sharpened. You have proof? Daniel pulled out the USB drive. We have everything. Documents. Contracts. Evidence that Hastings Industries has been involved in illegal weapons deals, money laundering, and corruption for at least 30 years. Rachel's eyes went wide. Are you serious? Dead serious, Daniel said. Sarah found this evidence before she supposedly died. She kept it hidden for 20 years. Now people are trying to kill us for it. The men in the alley, Rachel said. Private security? We think so. Probably hired by whoever's still running the illegal operations at Hastings. Rachel was already moving, grabbing her laptop, clearing space on her small dining table. Show me everything. For the next hour, Rachel went through the files while Daniel and Anna explained everything: the necklace, Victoria's recognition, the box, the letter, the break-in at Daniel's office, the men who'd chased them. Rachel's expression grew darker with every revelation. This is bigger than I thought, she said finally. I knew Hastings Industries had some questionable contracts, but this. She gestured at the screen. This is massive. International crime syndicate level massive. Can you publish it? Daniel asked. Can I? Rachel laughed, though there was no humor in it. This is the story of the century. This would make my career. Then her expression sobered. It would also probably get me killed. That's why we need to release it everywhere at once, Daniel said. Multiple news outlets. Make it impossible to suppress. Even then, the backlash is going to be nuclear, Rachel warned. Hastings Industries employs thousands of people. The stock will crash. Pensions will be destroyed. And the people implicated in these documents, some of them are very powerful. Very dangerous. I know, Daniel said. But it's the right thing to do. Rachel looked at Anna. What about you? You're Sarah's daughter. You have the most to lose and the most to gain here. What do you want? Anna thought about her mother. About 15 years of living in poverty and fear. About a woman who died on a boat because she was in the wrong place at the wrong time. About all the other victims buried in those documents, people killed by weapons sold for profit. I want the truth to come out, Anna said firmly. Whatever it costs. Rachel nodded slowly. Okay. But we do this smart. We need insurance. What kind of insurance? Daniel asked. The kind that keeps you alive. Rachel pulled out her phone. I have contacts at the FBI. People I trust. We give them copies of everything first. That way, if something happens to us, the investigation continues. Can we trust the FBI? Anna asked. These documents show bribes to law enforcement. Not federal, Rachel said. The corruption seems to be mostly local and international. The FBI's public corruption unit is clean as far as I know. She paused. At least, the agents I'm thinking of are. How can you be sure? Daniel challenged. Because one of them is my brother, Rachel said. And he's the most honest person I know. She made the call, speaking in quick, urgent sentences. When she hung up, she looked grim. He's coming. But he says we need to be prepared for this to get ugly fast. Once we hand over evidence of this scale, it triggers mandatory protocols. Investigations. Warrants. The whole machine starts moving, and we won't be able to control it. I don't want to control it, Daniel said. I want it exposed. Even if it means prison time for people in your own family? Rachel asked carefully. Your mother was on the board of directors. These documents show transactions during her tenure. Daniel's jaw tightened. My mother didn't know. She wasn't involved in the illegal activities. Can you prove that? Rachel challenged. The question hung heavy in the air. Anna thought of Victoria, elegant, tearful Victoria who'd seemed genuinely devastated by the revelations about her late husband. But had she really not known? Had she really been that blind? Or had she chosen not to see? We'll let the investigation determine that, Daniel said finally, though Anna could hear the pain in his voice. No one gets a pass. Not even family. Rachel nodded approvingly. Good. Because if we're doing this, we do it right. Total transparency. A knock at the door made them all freeze. Rachel checked the peephole, then relaxed. It's my brother. She opened the door to reveal a man in his early 40s, athletic build, wearing a FBI windbreaker. His eyes swept the room, taking in everything with professional assessment. "Rachel," he said. Then his eyes landed on Daniel. "Mr. Hastings. I've seen you on the news." "Special Agent David Chen," Rachel introduced. "My brother." "David, this is Daniel Hastings and Anna Bennett, though that's not her real name." David's eyebrows rose. "Want to explain what's going on?" For the next 30 minutes, they walked him through everything again. David listened without interrupting, his expression growing more serious with every detail. When they finished, he sat back and exhaled slowly. "This is going to trigger a massive federal investigation," he said. "RICO charges, corruption charges, possibly terrorism charges if these weapons deals led to terrorist activities." He looked at Daniel. "Your company is going to be dismantled. Assets frozen. Everyone even tangentially involved will be investigated." "I understand," Daniel said. "Do you?" David challenged. "Because once this starts, there's no stopping it. Your family name will be destroyed. Your personal assets might be seized. You could face charges yourself if they find evidence you knew about any of this." "I didn't know," Daniel said firmly. "I've only been CEO for 2 years, and I've been trying to investigate irregularities for months. That's what led me here." David studied him for a long moment. "I believe you. But a prosecutor might not." He turned to Anna. "And you? You're Sarah Hastings' daughter. That makes you a witness, possibly an heir to tainted assets. Your life is going to be turned inside out." "My life already has been," Anna said. "I've spent 15 years thinking I was nobody. Now I find out I'm part of a family that's been funding criminals and murderers. I don't care what it costs me personally. I want the truth out." David nodded. "Okay. Then here's what happens. I take custody of the evidence tonight. I bring it directly to my supervisor. By tomorrow morning, this will be in the hands of multiple federal agencies. Within 48 hours, warrants will start being executed." "What about protection?" Rachel asked. "These people have already tried to kill Anna and Daniel tonight. We'll put them in protective custody," David said. "Safe house. Federal protection until the main players are arrested." "What about my mother?" Daniel asked. "Victoria Hastings. She was with us earlier but we got separated." David pulled out his phone. "Where is she now?" "Peninsula Hotel. Checked in under her maiden name, Victoria Lauren." David made a call, speaking in low tones. When he hung up, he nodded. "I'm sending agents to pick her up. She'll be brought to the same safe house." He stood, "All business now. Pack light. Only essentials. We leave in 10 minutes. What do you think happens next? Can they really trust the FBI? Drop your predictions in the comments. And if you're hooked on this story, don't forget to subscribe. Things are about to get even more intense. Fire. The safe house was a nondescript suburban home in New Jersey, the kind of place that blended into the neighborhood so completely you'd never look twice at it. But inside, it was equipped with security cameras, reinforced doors, and 2 armed federal agents stationed in the living room. Victoria arrived an hour after them, escorted by 2 agents. She looked exhausted, her makeup long gone, her expensive dress rumpled. But when she saw Anna, her face lit up. "Thank God," she breathed, pulling Anna into a fierce hug. "When we got separated, I thought I'd lost you before I'd even had a chance to know you." Anna found herself hugging back, surprised by how much comfort she took from this stranger's embrace. Victoria pulled back, looking at Daniel. "Are we safe here?" "For now," Daniel said. "But Mother, there's something you need to know." He explained about the FBI, about the investigation that would be starting, about the evidence and what it meant. Victoria listened, her face growing paler with each word. "They're going to investigate me," she said quietly. They're going to think I was involved. Were you? The question came from David, who'd been watching from the doorway. Victoria's head snapped up. Absolutely not. I had no idea what Thomas was doing. I thought we were just a real estate company. I thought his business trips were legitimate. Her voice cracked. I was a fool, but I wasn't a criminal. Then the investigation will prove that, David said. But I need to ask you some questions. About your husband's activities. About the company finances. About what you knew and when. Now? Victoria asked. Now, David confirmed. He led her to another room, leaving Anna and Daniel alone with Rachel and the two agents. Anna sank onto the couch, suddenly exhausted. The adrenaline that had kept her going for hours was fading, leaving her feeling hollowed out. Daniel sat beside her. You okay? I don't know, Anna admitted. This morning I was a waitress worried about making rent. Now I'm in witness protection because people want to kill me for evidence my dead mother left me about a family I didn't know I had. She laughed, but it came out slightly hysterical. How do you process that? You don't, Daniel said quietly. Not all at once. You just take it one moment at a time. Rachel sat across from them, her laptop open. I'm working on this story. I want to publish simultaneously with the FBI making arrests. Maximum impact. When will that be? Anna asked. David thinks 48 to 72 hours. They need time to review the evidence, get warrants, coordinate with multiple agencies. She looked up. But when it drops, it's going to be everywhere. Every news outlet. Every social media platform. The Hastings family is about to become the biggest scandal of the decade. Daniel's expression was grim. Good. Is it? Anna asked. Rachel said thousands of people work for Hastings Industries. What happens to them? The legitimate parts of the company will probably be sold off, Daniel said. The employees will hopefully be absorbed by whoever buys the assets. But yes, some people will lose their jobs. Some will lose their pensions if those were tied up in company stock. Innocent people will be hurt, Anna said. Yes, Daniel agreed. But innocent people have already been hurt. The people killed by the weapons my grandfather sold. The communities destroyed by the criminals he funded. The woman who died on that boat in Sarah's place. He looked at Anna. We can't undo the past. But we can stop it from continuing. Anna knew he was right. But it didn't make it easier. Victoria emerged from the other room an hour later, looking drained. David was with her, his expression unreadable. Well? Daniel asked. Your mother's story checks out, David said. She genuinely seems to have been kept in the dark about the illegal activities. But we'll need to verify everything through the investigation. Victoria sat down heavily. 30 years of marriage. 30 years, and I never knew what kind of man I was living with. She looked at her hands. How did I not see it? He was careful, Daniel said. He compartmentalized. Kept the illegal business separate from the legitimate operations. You weren't supposed to see it. Sarah saw it, Victoria said bitterly. My 19-year-old daughter figured it out in weeks. What does that say about me? It says you trusted your husband, Anna said quietly. That's not a crime. Victoria looked at her with grateful tears. You're very kind. Especially considering everything you've lost because of my family. I lost my mother, Anna said. But I gained a grandmother. And a brother, apparently. She glanced at Daniel. That's worth something. Daniel smiled, a real, warm smile. Yeah. It is. David's phone buzzed. He read the message and his expression changed. We have a problem. Everyone tensed. What kind of problem? Rachel asked. The files we uploaded. Someone's trying to delete them from the cloud servers. David was typing rapidly on his phone. They're hitting all 3 backup locations simultaneously. Whoever this is, they have serious cyber capabilities. Can they succeed? Daniel demanded. My team is fighting them off, but... David looked up. We need to assume that someone very powerful knows about the evidence and is actively trying to destroy it. What about the USB drive? Anna asked. The original? Daniel pulled it from his pocket. Still here. That's now the only copy we can guarantee they haven't compromised, David said. Which makes it, and you, even more valuable. And more of a target. As if on cue, one of the agents stationed by the window spoke up, Sir, we have a vehicle approaching. Slowly. Lights off. David moved to the window, peering through the curtains. His hand went to his weapon. Everyone get to the basement. Now. What's happening? Victoria asked, her voice rising in panic. We're about to have company, David said grimly. And I don't think they're here for a friendly visit. They hurried toward the basement stairs, Anna clutching the box, Daniel with the USB drive, Victoria supported by Rachel. Behind them, Anna heard David giving orders to the other agents. Heard the sound of weapons being readied. In the basement, they huddled together in the dark, listening to the sounds above. Car doors closing. Quiet voices. Footsteps on the porch. Then the doorbell rang. Anna heard David answer it, heard muffled conversation. Then a voice, calm and authoritative, We're here for Anna Bennett and Daniel Hastings. Federal warrant for their arrest. Anna's blood ran cold. On what charges? David demanded. Theft of corporate documents. Industrial espionage. Conspiracy. That's bullshit, David said flatly. Those charges wouldn't even be federal. Who signed your warrant? A pause. Then, I'm not obligated to discuss that with you, Agent Chen. You are if you want to enter this federal safe house, David shot back. Silence for a moment. Then, we're coming in anyway. Step aside. Like hell you are. The sound of a scuffle. Shouts. Then a gunshot. Anna gasped, gripping Daniel's arm. More gunshots. The sound of running feet. Glass breaking. Victoria was praying quietly in French. Rachel had pulled out her phone, filming everything, her hands remarkably steady. If we don't make it out, she whispered to Daniel, this goes straight to my editor. Automatically. Everything. Daniel nodded. The basement door burst open. Light flooded down the stairs. Down here, a voice shouted. Anna's heart hammered. This was it. They'd found them. But then David's voice, stand down. Federal agents. More confusion. More shouting. Then David appeared at the top of the stairs, his gun drawn but pointed down. Blood was streaming from a cut on his forehead. You need to come up, he said. Now. And someone better explain to me what the hell is going on because those weren't federal agents. Their credentials were fake. They climbed the stairs to find chaos. 2 men were on the floor, hands zip-tied behind their backs. One of the federal agents was wounded, being tended to by his partner. The front door was hanging off its hinges. And standing in the middle of it all was a man in his 50s, well-dressed, with cold eyes and a very real-looking badge. My name is Marcus Webb, he said calmly. Assistant Director, FBI. And I need to know exactly what's going on in my jurisdiction. David stiffened. Sir, I can explain. I hope so, Webb interrupted. Because I just received a call that someone was impersonating federal agents and attempting to abduct witnesses under our protection. I got here in time to stop them. He gestured to the 2 men on the floor. But I'd very much like to know what they wanted. His eyes landed on Anna, and something flickered in his expression. And I'd very much like to know why you look exactly like Sarah Hastings. The name recognition was instant and visceral. Anna felt Daniel tense beside her. "You knew my mother?" Anna asked carefully. Webb's expression was unreadable. "I was the agent who investigated her death 20 years ago. The boating accident in Greece." He looked at her for a long moment. "Or what we thought was her death. Clearly, we were wrong. The dental records were faked," Daniel said. Apparently, Webb agreed. "Which raises the question, by whom? And why?" He looked at the USB drive in Daniel's hand. "I'm guessing that has something to do with it." Comment: Do you trust Marcus Webb? Is he really there to help, or is this a trap? Subscribe now if you want to find out what happens. This story is about to reach its breaking point. Fire. David was watching his superior carefully. "Sir, we were about to hand evidence over to the Bureau. Evidence of massive corporate corruption involving Hastings Industries." "Were you now?" Webb said mildly. He gestured to the two men on the floor. "And these gentlemen were trying to stop you?" "With fake credentials and weapons," David confirmed. Webb pulled out his phone and made a call. "I need a forensics team at this location. And a cleanup crew. We have 2 suspects in custody, 1 wounded agent, and potential evidence in a federal case." He hung up and turned back to them. "Until my team arrives, no one leaves. No one touches anything. And someone is going to tell me everything, from the beginning." So they did. For the second time that night, Anna watched as her world was laid bare for a stranger. The necklace. The discovery. The box. The evidence. All of it. Webb listened without expression, occasionally asking clarifying questions, but mostly just absorbing information. When they finished, he was quiet for a long moment. "Thomas Hastings," he said finally. "I met him once, years ago. At a fundraiser. Seemed like a decent man." He shook his head. "Guess you never really know people." "You believe us?" Anna asked. "I believe the evidence," Webb said. "Which I'll need to examine personally." He held out his hand to Daniel. "The USB drive, please." Daniel hesitated. "Son," Webb said, his voice hardening slightly, "I'm not asking. That's evidence in a federal case. Hand it over." Slowly, Daniel placed the drive in Webb's palm. Webb pocketed it. "I'll have our cyber team analyze this tonight. If it contains what you say it does, we'll move forward with a full investigation immediately." "And if it doesn't?" Rachel challenged. "If the files have been corrupted or deleted? Then we have a very different conversation," Webb said. "About evidence tampering and false accusations." "We have backups," Daniel started. "Which are currently being attacked by unknown parties," Webb finished. "Yes, Agent Chen briefed me. Which is why this drive is now our best chance at securing uncorrupted evidence." He looked at each of them in turn. "Until this is resolved, you're all material witnesses. Which means you stay in protective custody. No contact with the outside world. No phone calls, no internet, nothing." His gaze landed on Rachel. "That includes you, Miss Chen. No publishing anything until we've verified the evidence and made our arrests." "That's censorship," Rachel protested. "That's proper protocol," Webb corrected. "If you publish before we can coordinate arrests, you tip off the suspects. They flee, they destroy evidence, they disappear. Is that what you want?" Rachel scowled but didn't argue. "Good," Webb said. "My team will be here in 20 minutes. We'll relocate you to a more secure facility. Pack your things." As he walked away to confer with David, Victoria leaned close to Anna. "Do you trust him?" she whispered. Anna thought about it. About the way Webb had looked at her when he recognized Sarah's face. About the timing of his arrival, too perfect, too convenient. "I don't know," Anna admitted. "But I don't think we have a choice." Daniel was watching Webb with narrowed eyes. "Something's off about this." "What do you mean?" Anna asked. Webb said he investigated Sarah's death 20 years ago. That he was the agent assigned to the case. So why would an FBI assistant director be investigating a boating accident in Greece? That's not federal jurisdiction. That's not even U.S. jurisdiction. Daniel's voice dropped. Unless there was something about Sarah's death that we don't know. Something that made it a federal case. The observation sent chills down Anna's spine. Before she could respond, Webb's phone rang. He answered, listened, and his expression darkened. When? I see. Lock it down. No one in or out. He hung up and turned to them, his face grim. We have another problem. Victoria Hastings' penthouse was just broken into. Torn apart. They were looking for something. Victoria went pale. My home? What did they take? Daniel demanded. That's just it, Webb said. According to building security, they didn't take anything. They just destroyed everything. Tore up mattresses, broke open walls, ripped out floorboards. He paused. They were searching for something specific. Something they believed was hidden there. Anna and Daniel exchanged glances. The original documents, Daniel said. They think Sarah left the evidence with Mother. That it's been hidden in the penthouse all these years. But it wasn't, Anna said. It was with me. In my apartment. Which they also searched tonight, Daniel added. Which means they're getting desperate, Webb finished. They know the evidence exists. They know you have it. And they're running out of time to stop you from exposing it. He looked at Anna with an intensity that made her uncomfortable. Miss Bennett, I need you to think very carefully. Is there anything else your mother left you? Any other hiding place? Any other location where she might have stored documents? Anna thought hard. Just the storage unit. And the box. That's all she left me. You're sure? I'm sure. Why? Webb exchanged a look with David. Because our cyber team just got into the cloud servers. The files that were uploaded? They're gone. Completely wiped. Whoever's attacking them has resources we can't match. The room went silent. But you have the USB drive, Rachel said. The original. Yes, Webb agreed. Which is now literally the only copy of this evidence in existence. He pulled the drive from his pocket, holding it up. This tiny piece of plastic is the difference between bringing down a criminal empire and letting them get away with murder. He looked at Anna. Which is why I need to know, is your mother the type of person who would have made only one copy? Or would she have hidden another backup somewhere, just in case? Anna thought about her mother. About her paranoia. About the way she'd always had contingency plans, backup plans, plans for the backup plans. She would have made another copy, Anna said slowly. She was too careful not to. But where? Her voice trailed off as a memory surfaced. The necklace. Her mother, on her deathbed, clutching the necklace with the last of her strength. Whispering something Anna had been too young and too devastated to fully process. Inside the star, baby. Always inside the star. At the time, Anna had thought she was being poetic. Talking about heaven or the afterlife or something comforting. But what if she'd been literal? Anna's hand went to her neck, but the necklace wasn't there. She'd left it on Rachel's table after they'd looked at the inscription. Rachel, Anna said urgently. The necklace. Where is it? Rachel frowned. On my dining table. Why? I need it. Now. Rachel retrieved it, and Anna examined it closely under the light. The sapphire was set in silver, the setting more elaborate than she'd noticed before. And there, along the edge where the stone met the metal, was a tiny seam. It opens, Anna breathed. Daniel leaned in close. Are you sure? Anna felt along the seam, pressing gently. Nothing happened. She tried twisting the stone. Still nothing. Then she remembered something else. A song her mother used to sing. A lullaby in French that Anna had never understood. Tournez à gauche, tournez à droite, la vérité se cache dans la lumière. Turn left, turn right, the truth hides in the light. She twisted the stone left, then right, following the pattern from the song. There was a soft click. The sapphire popped open like a tiny locket. Inside, nestled in a hollow compartment, was a micro SD card. Everyone stared at it in shock. Jesus Christ, David breathed. She hid it in the necklace. For 20 years, Victoria whispered. For 20 years, the evidence has been right there. And we never knew. Webb reached for it, but Anna closed her fist around the necklace. How do I know I can trust you? She asked him directly. Webb's expression didn't change. You don't. But you also don't have many options right now. That's not an answer, Anna said. No, Webb agreed. It's not. So let me be more direct. Right now, powerful people are trying very hard to kill you and destroy this evidence. I can protect you. I can make sure the evidence sees the light of day. But I can't do that if you don't trust me. Why were you investigating my mother's death 20 years ago? Anna pressed. Daniel's right, that's not federal jurisdiction. Webb was quiet for a moment. Then, because I was already investigating Thomas Hastings. Had been for 2 years at that point. We suspected he was involved in illegal arms deals, but we couldn't prove it. Then his daughter died in a convenient accident right after accessing his private files. He met Anna's eyes. I knew it wasn't an accident. I just couldn't prove that either. Why not? Daniel demanded. Because everyone I talked to clammed up. Every lead went cold. Every piece of evidence disappeared. Webb's voice was hard. Thomas Hastings had people in my own agency. People who made sure the investigation went nowhere. After Sarah's supposed death, I was ordered to close the case. And when I refused, I was reassigned. Sent to a field office in Montana for 5 years. He held out his hand. I've been waiting 20 years for another chance at Thomas Hastings. I'm not going to let that chance slip away now. So please. Trust me to do my job. Anna looked at Daniel. At Victoria. At Rachel and David. They were all watching her, waiting for her decision. She thought of her mother. Wondered what Sarah would do. Then she placed the necklace, with its hidden SD card, into Webb's palm. Okay, she said. But I want to be there. When you expose everything. When you arrest the people responsible. I want to see it. Webb nodded. Deal. He handed the necklace to David. Get this to the lab. I want every file on that card extracted and backed up to our secure servers. Multiple backups. Air-gapped systems. David took it carefully, like it was made of glass. Webb's phone buzzed again. He read the message and swore softly. What now? Rachel asked. Richard Chen, the CFO of Hastings Industries, just boarded a private jet. Flight plan filed for the Cayman Islands. He's running, Daniel said. Not for long, Webb replied. He made a call. This is Assistant Director Webb. I need that flight grounded immediately. Pilot credentials revoked. And I want agents waiting at the hangar. He paused. No, I don't care whose plane it is. Ground it. He hung up and looked at Daniel. Your CFO just became our first arrest. And with the evidence on that SD card, he's going to have a choice, spend the rest of his life in prison, or cooperate and tell us who else is involved. He'll talk, Daniel said with certainty. Richard Chen is a lot of things, but loyal isn't one of them. The second he realizes he's going down, he'll give up everyone else to save himself. Good, Webb said. Because we're going to need names. All of them. Every person who's been involved in this conspiracy for the last 30 years. He looked at Anna. Your mother died protecting this secret. Tomorrow, we make sure her death meant something. Anna nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. The weight of 20 years of running. 20 years of fear. It was almost over. Almost. The new safe house was a compound in upstate New York, isolated, heavily guarded, and completely cut off from the outside world. Anna stood at the window watching the sunrise, unable to sleep. Somewhere in FBI headquarters, analysts were going through her mother's files. Building cases. Preparing arrests. And she was stuck here, waiting. Couldn't sleep either? She turned to find Daniel in the doorway, looking as exhausted as she felt. Every time I close my eyes, I see those men chasing us, Anna admitted. Daniel moved to stand beside her. We're safe here. Webb has a dozen agents on the property. Webb. Anna looked at him. Do you trust him? I don't know, Daniel said honestly. But we don't have much choice. A knock interrupted them. David Chen entered, holding a tablet. His expression was serious. We got into the SD card, he said without preamble. It's worse than we thought. He turned the tablet toward them. Anna's stomach dropped as she read the files. Names. Dozens of them. Senators. Judges. Police chiefs. CEOs. All on the Hastings payroll. My God, Daniel breathed. Half the political establishment is implicated here. Which is why this is moving fast, David said. Webb wants arrests happening simultaneously across 6 states. Tomorrow morning. 6 a.m. Tomorrow? Anna's heart raced. That's less than 24 hours. It has to be fast, David explained. Once word gets out, people will run. We need to grab everyone at once before they can coordinate or destroy evidence. What about us? Anna asked. You stay here until it's done. Then Webb will bring you in for official statements. David hesitated. There's something else. We found communications between Richard Chen and someone else. Someone giving him orders. Who? Daniel demanded. We don't know yet. The messages are encrypted. But they reference the Bennett situation and eliminating loose ends. David looked at Anna. Someone very high up the chain knows about you. And they want you dead. The words hung heavy in the air. Show me the messages, Daniel said. David pulled them up. Anna read over his shoulder, her blood running cold. The daughter is the priority. She knows too much. Handle it quietly. What about the son? He's useful for now. Keep him alive until we know if there are other copies. And the mother? Collateral damage. Do what's necessary. Anna felt sick. They were going to kill all of us. They still might try, David said grimly. Which is why you can't leave this compound. Not until every person on that list is in custody. Victoria appeared in the doorway, wrapped in a robe, her face pale. I just got off the phone with my lawyers. The FBI is freezing all Hastings Industries accounts. The board is calling an emergency meeting. They can meet all they want, Daniel said. By tomorrow, half of them will be under arrest. Victoria sank into a chair. Everything Thomas built is going to disappear. The family name, the business, all of it. It was built on blood, Anna said quietly. It deserves to disappear. Victoria looked at her with sad eyes. You're right. But it's still hard to watch everything you believed in crumble. Rachel burst into the room, her laptop open. You need to see this. She turned the screen toward them. It was a news alert. Breaking, FBI raids Hastings Industries headquarters. Multiple arrests expected in massive corruption probe. No, David breathed. No, no, no. The raids weren't supposed to happen until tomorrow. Someone leaked it early. He was already on his phone, calling Webb. Sir, we have a problem. Anna watched as Daniel pulled up more news alerts. They were multiplying by the second. Senator Williams resigns amid corruption allegations. Hastings Industries stock crashes as FBI investigation widens. Sources: decades of illegal arms deals uncovered. It's happening, Daniel said. Everything's coming out. Right now. David hung up, his face grim. Webb says someone inside the bureau leaked the investigation to the press. He's moving up the timeline. Arrests are happening now. All across the country. Is that good or bad? Anna asked. Both, David said. Good because the public knows. Bad because now the targets know we're coming. Some of them will run. As if on cue, Victoria's phone buzzed. She looked at it and went pale. What? Daniel asked. It's the board. They're blaming me for this. They're saying I knew about the illegal activities all along. Her voice shook. They're making me the scapegoat. Let them, Anna said fiercely. When the evidence comes out, everyone will know the truth. But Victoria looked devastated. My reputation is destroyed. Everything I've worked for was built on lies. Anna's voice rose. My mother spent 20 years running in fear because your husband tried to kill her. She died alone and scared because of what your family did. So forgive me if I don't have sympathy for your reputation. The room went silent. Victoria's eyes filled with tears. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm grieving what I thought my life was. Anna's anger faded as quickly as it had come. She moved to Victoria's side. I know. I'm sorry too. This is a lot. Victoria took her hand. We'll get through it. Together. As family. David's phone rang. He answered, listened, and his expression changed. Say that again? When? How many? He hung up and looked at them with barely controlled fear. 3 SUVs just breached the outer perimeter. Armed men. At least a dozen. They're coming for the compound. Anna's heart stopped. How did they find us? I don't know, but they'll be here in 5 minutes. David pulled his weapon. We need to evacuate. Now. Alarms started blaring throughout the compound. Through the window, Anna could see agents taking defensive positions. There's an escape tunnel, David said urgently. Leads to a garage a quarter-mile away. Armored vehicle waiting. Move. They ran through the house, following David down a flight of stairs Anna hadn't known existed. Behind them, she heard gunfire. The tunnel was narrow, dark, lit only by emergency lights. Their footsteps echoed off concrete walls. How did they find us? Victoria gasped. Someone talked, Daniel said grimly. Someone inside the bureau. They reached the garage, a small underground space with a single black SUV. David threw open the door. Get in. I'll drive. They piled in. David started the engine and hit the garage door opener. Nothing happened. He tried again. Still nothing. It's been disabled, he said, his voice tight. Through the rearview mirror, Anna saw figures entering the tunnel behind them. They were trapped. Out of the car. Now. David shouted. They scrambled out as bullets ricocheted off the SUV's armored body. David returned fire, forcing the attackers back into the tunnel. There. Rachel pointed to a maintenance door in the corner. They ran. Daniel kicked the door open, revealing a ladder leading up. Climb, he ordered. Anna went first, her hand slipping on the metal rungs. Behind her, she heard more gunshots. Victoria was right below her, then Rachel. The ladder led to a small shed on the surface. Anna burst through the hatch into cold morning air. They were in the woods, 100 yards from the main compound, which was now engulfed in flames. Oh my God, Victoria breathed. David emerged last, slamming the hatch shut. They're right behind us. We need to. His phone rang. He answered, and his face went white. "What?" Daniel demanded. David put it on speaker. Webb's voice came through, tense and urgent. "Agent Chen, listen carefully. Don't trust anyone at your location. I repeat, do not trust anyone." "Sir, what are you talking about?" "I just arrested Marcus Webb." Silence. "Say that again?" David's voice was hollow. "The real Marcus Webb. He's been in a hospital in Virginia for the past 3 days. Heart attack. The man you've been working with is an imposter." Anna felt the ground tilt. "Then who?" Daniel started. The fake Webb's voice came from behind them, someone who's been cleaning up Thomas Hastings' messes for 30 years. They spun around. The man they'd known as Webb stood at the tree line, holding a gun. Behind him were 4 armed men. "The raid, the arrests, all of it was theater," he said calmly. "Designed to flush out every copy of that evidence. And you led me right to it." He held up the necklace, the SD card visible in his palm. "This was the last piece." "Who are you?" Anna demanded. "Does it matter?" He smiled coldly. "I'm the man who's been protecting Hastings Industries' secrets since before you were born. I'm the one who arranged the boat explosion. Who tracked your mother to Ohio? Who made sure she had that unfortunate accident?" Rage flooded through Anna. "You killed my mother. I eliminated a threat. Just like I'm about to eliminate you." He raised his gun. A shot rang out. But it didn't come from his weapon. The fake Webb stumbled, blood blooming on his shoulder. His men spun, searching for the shooter. Another shot. One of the armed men went down. "Move!" David shouted, pulling them toward the trees. They ran as chaos erupted behind them. More gunshots. Shouting. Through the trees, Anna glimpsed figures in FBI tactical gear engaging the fake Webb's men. David pulled them to a stop in a small clearing. "That's the real response team. Webb, the real Webb, must have sent them." "How do we know they're real?" Rachel demanded. Before David could answer, a woman in tactical gear emerged from the trees, hands raised. "Agent Sarah Martinez, FBI," she said. "And yes, that's really my name." Anna's breath caught. "Sarah Martinez. That was my mother's name." The agent nodded. "I know. That's why they assigned me to this case. Director Webb thought it might help you trust us." She lowered her hands. "We have the compound secured. The imposter and his men are in custody. You're safe now." "Are we?" Daniel challenged. "How do we know you're who you say you are?" Agent Martinez pulled out her credentials, let them examine them closely. Then she made a call, put it on speaker. "This is Director Marcus Webb. The real one. I'm sorry for the confusion and danger you've been put in. Agent Martinez is one of my most trusted people. You can believe her." His voice was older, raspier than the imposter's. But there was something genuine in it. "The evidence?" Anna asked. "Secured," Webb said. "We have the SD card and all the files. Arrests are happening as we speak. Real arrests this time. By morning, everyone involved in this conspiracy will be in federal custody. Including the man who killed my mother?" Anna's voice shook. "Especially him," Webb confirmed. "He's singing like a canary to save himself. Giving us names, dates, everything." Anna felt her knees weaken. Daniel caught her arm, steadying her. "It's over," he whispered. "Anna, it's really over." But Anna was looking at the burning compound, thinking about the 20 years her mother had spent running. "No," she said quietly. "It's not over. Not until everyone knows the truth." 3 days later, Anna sat in a federal courthouse waiting room, staring at her hands. The evidence was out. Every major news outlet was running the story. Hastings Industries was in ruins. Dozens of arrests had been made. But Anna felt hollow. "You okay?" Daniel sat beside her, looking exhausted in his suit. "I don't know," Anna admitted. "We won. So why doesn't it feel like winning?" "Because justice is messy," Victoria said from across the room. She looked older now, worn down by media scrutiny and public shame. "And it doesn't bring back the people we've lost." The door opened. Agent Martinez appeared. "They're ready for you, Anna." Anna stood on shaky legs. Today she would testify before a grand jury. Tell her mother's story. Make it all official. Make it real. Daniel squeezed her hand. "You've got this." But as Anna walked toward the courtroom, Agent Martinez pulled her aside. "There's something you need to know," she said quietly. "The man who killed your mother, the imposter, he didn't act alone. He had help from someone inside the original investigation." Anna's blood ran cold. "Who?" "We're still piecing it together. But there are indications that someone very close to your mother betrayed her." Martinez hesitated. "Someone she trusted." "Who?" Anna demanded. Before Martinez could answer, an explosion rocked the building. The lights went out. Alarms blared. People screamed. In the chaos and darkness, Anna felt someone grab her arm. Hard. "Don't make a sound," a voice hissed in her ear. "Or your grandmother dies right here." Anna froze. Emergency lights flickered on, casting everything in red. And Anna saw him clearly for the first time. Richard Chen. The CFO who was supposed to be in custody. He had Victoria in a chokehold, a gun to her head. "Where's the backup?" he snarled at Anna. "I know there's another copy." Sarah was too smart to have only one. "There is no other copy," Anna said desperately. "Liar." He pressed the gun harder against Victoria's temple. She whimpered. "Sarah told me she had insurance. A dead man's switch. Something that would release everything if she died." Anna's mind raced. Her mother had never mentioned anything like that. Unless. Inside the star, baby. Always inside the star. The necklace had held one SD card. But what if there was more? "Let her go," Anna said. "I'll tell you everything." "Anna, no." Victoria gasped. Richard's eyes gleamed. "Talk." "There's a safe deposit box," Anna lied, her mind working frantically. "In my mother's name. I have the key." "Where?" "My apartment. Hidden in." "Freeze." "FBI." Agents burst into the hallway, weapons drawn. Richard spun, using Victoria as a shield. "Back off or she dies." "Let her go, Chen," Agent Martinez commanded. "It's over." "It's not over until I say it is." Richard was panicking now, his gun hand shaking. "I've given my whole life to this company. I'm not going to prison." "You don't have a choice," Daniel's voice came from behind him. Richard turned, and in that split second of distraction, Victoria drove her elbow into his ribs. Richard stumbled. Victoria broke free. Agents swarmed him, taking him down hard. It was over in seconds. Anna ran to Victoria, who collapsed into her arms, both of them shaking. "You're okay," Anna whispered. "You're okay." Victoria pulled back, tears streaming down her face. "You were willing to trade everything to save me." "Your family," Anna said simply. Agent Martinez approached. "That was brave and incredibly stupid. He could have killed you both." "But he didn't," Daniel said, helping Victoria to her feet. "How did he escape custody?" Martinez's expression darkened. "We're investigating." "Someone helped him." "Someone inside." The word sent a chill through Anna. "How deep does this go?" she asked. "We're still finding out," Martinez admitted. "But Anna, what you said about a safe deposit box. Was that true?" Anna shook her head. I made it up to stall him. But he believed you. Which means your mother told him something. Martinez's eyes were sharp. What did she say exactly? When she mentioned insurance? Anna tried to remember. She didn't. Chen said she told him. But she never told me about any dead man's switch. Then either Chen was lying, or Martinez stopped. Or my mother had secrets even I don't know about, Anna finished. The thought was crushing. 20 years of running. 20 years of fear. And even now, after everything, there were still mysteries. Still shadows her mother had kept hidden. I want this finished, Anna said, her voice breaking. I want to testify. I want everyone to know what happened. I want my mother's name cleared and I want to move on with my life. Martinez nodded gently. Then let's do that. The grand jury is waiting. Anna's testimony lasted 4 hours. She told them everything. The necklace. The box. The letter. Her mother's final words. When she finished, the room was silent. The lead prosecutor stood. Miss Bennett, thank you. Your mother's courage, and yours, has brought down one of the largest criminal conspiracies in U.S. history. Anna nodded, too exhausted to feel anything. Outside the courthouse, media swarmed. Cameras flashed. Reporters shouted questions. Agent Martinez guided them to a waiting car. We'll take you somewhere quiet. Let you decompress. But as they drove away, Anna's phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Your mother left you one more gift. Check the lining of the box. Anna's hand shook. Stop the car. What? Daniel asked. The box. We need to get the box. Now. They diverted to the FBI evidence locker. Anna signed forms with trembling hands until they brought out her mother's cardboard box. She ran her fingers along the inside lining. There, a small bump she'd never noticed. She tore the fabric. A key fell out. Small, brass, with a number, 847. It's a safe deposit box key, Martinez said. The text was telling the truth. Which bank? Victoria asked. Anna turned the key over. Engraved on the back, First National, Columbus, Ohio. That's where we lived, Anna breathed. When she died. Within hours, they were on a plane to Ohio. The bank manager was skeptical until Martinez showed her badge. He led them to the vault, located box 847. This was registered to Sarah Bennett 15 years ago, he said. Paid up through 2050. He inserted his key. Anna inserted hers. The box opened. Inside was a single envelope and a video camera. Anna's hand shook as she opened the envelope. Inside was a letter in her mother's handwriting. My darling Anna. If you're reading this, you've found the truth. And you've been so brave. This camera contains my full testimony. Everything I witnessed. Everyone involved. It's the insurance I told Richard about, though I never actually gave him this location. I recorded this the week before I died. I knew they were close. I knew time was running out. But I also knew that you would find this someday. That you would be strong enough to finish what I started. I'm so proud of you, baby girl. Now finish it. Show the world everything. All my love. Mom. Anna picked up the camera with trembling hands. Can we watch it? Martinez nodded. They found a private room. Anna pressed play. Her mother's face filled the screen, younger than Anna remembered, but with the same eyes. The same determined expression. My name is Sarah Hastings, her mother said to the camera. And I'm about to tell you how one of America's most respected families became one of its most dangerous criminal enterprises. For the next 90 minutes, Anna watched her mother methodically destroy the Hastings empire. Names. Dates. Locations. Deals. Everything. When it ended, they all sat in silence. This is... Martinez couldn't find words. Everything, Daniel finished, his voice hollow. This is absolutely everything. Names we didn't even know to look for. There are senators still in office here, Victoria whispered. Judges. CEOs. Then they all need to go down, Anna said firmly. She looked at Martinez. Release this. All of it. Let the world see what my mother died protecting. Martinez nodded. I'll take it directly to the director. But as they left the bank, Anna felt something shift inside her. For 20 years, she'd carried her mother's fear without understanding it. Now she carried her mother's courage. And for the first time since putting on that necklace, Anna felt truly free. The video went viral within hours. Anna watched from a hotel room as her mother's testimony spread across every platform. News anchors played clips. Social media exploded. The world was finally hearing Sarah's voice. 17 new arrests in the last hour, Martinez reported, checking her phone. 3 senators have resigned. The DOJ is opening investigations into 47 individuals. It's working, Daniel said, staring at the TV. Everything she fought for, it's finally working. Victoria was crying quietly. I can see her. In you. The same fire. The same strength. Anna's phone rang. Unknown number. She answered cautiously. Miss Bennett? This is Senator Catherine Walsh. I'm calling to apologize. Anna's breath caught. Walsh was one of the names in her mother's testimony, someone who'd taken bribes from Hastings Industries. I'm resigning my position, Walsh continued, her voice breaking. And I'm cooperating fully with investigators. What your mother revealed. I can't undo what I did, but I can make sure the truth is known. She wasn't the only one. Over the next 6 hours, Anna received 12 similar calls. Confessions. Apologies. People begging for forgiveness. They're scared, Rachel said. She'd been documenting everything for her article. Your mother's testimony didn't just expose them, it gave them a chance to come clean before the walls close in completely. By midnight, the FBI had made over 60 arrests. Hastings Industries formally dissolved, its assets seized. And Anna's mother's name was everywhere, not as a dead heiress, but as a hero. There's someone here to see you, Martinez said, entering the room. An elderly woman followed her in. Dignified, with kind eyes. My name is Margaret Torres, she said. I was your mother's art teacher. 20 years ago, she came to me terrified. Said she'd found something terrible about her family. Anna leaned forward. What did she tell you? That she was going to disappear. That everyone would think she was dead. She asked me to watch over something for her. Margaret pulled out a small painting. She made this the week before the boat explosion. Said if anyone ever came looking for the truth, I should give it to her daughter. Anna took the painting with shaking hands. It was a portrait of Anna as a baby. And hidden in the background, painted in nearly invisible strokes, were numbers. Coordinates. What is this? Anna whispered. Daniel was already typing them into his phone. It's a location. In upstate New York. Middle of nowhere. We need to go there, Anna said. Now? Victoria asked. Now. Comment, what do you think is at those coordinates? Subscribe if you want to see how this all ends. Fire. They drove through the night, arriving at dawn. The coordinates led to a small cemetery. Overgrown. Forgotten. And there, beneath an unmarked stone, they found a name freshly carved. Jennifer Walsh, friend, died too young. The woman who died on the boat, Daniel breathed. Your mother gave her a grave. Anna knelt, touching the stone. All these years, her mother had made sure her friend wasn't forgotten. Beneath the name was an inscription. She saved my life by losing hers. I'm sorry I couldn't save her too. Sarah came here, Victoria whispered. She's been coming here all these years, hasn't she? Anna found fresh flowers by the grave. Recently placed. Someone else knows about this place, she said. I do. They turned to find an elderly man standing at the cemetery gate. Weathered face. Sad eyes. I'm Jennifer's father, he said. Sarah came to see me the week before she died. Told me the truth about what happened to my daughter. Asked me to keep bringing flowers until someone came looking. He approached Anna. You look just like her. Did she say anything else? Anna asked. She said she was tired of running. That she was going to make one last stand. His voice broke. She said if she didn't survive, someone would come looking for the truth. And I was to tell them that Jennifer's death wasn't in vain. That it meant something. Anna felt tears streaming down her face. It did. Everything she did, it all meant something. The old man nodded. She asked me to give you this if you came. He handed Anna a final letter. Anna opened it with trembling hands. Anna. If you're reading this, you found Jennifer's grave. You found all of it. I'm so sorry for the life I gave you. For the fear. For the running. For not being the mother you deserved. But I hope I taught you the most important thing, the truth matters. Justice matters. Even when it costs everything. Live freely, baby girl. Live the life I couldn't. I love you forever. Anna clutched the letter to her chest, finally allowing herself to grieve, not just for her mother, but for all of it. The lost years. The fear. The sacrifice. Daniel put his arm around her. Victoria took her hand. And Rachel captured it all, the moment a family torn apart by lies finally came together in truth. 6 months later. Anna stood in front of the mirror, adjusting the collar of her dress. Through the window of her new apartment, a real apartment, in a safe neighborhood, paid for with money from the Hastings estate settlement, she could see the city coming alive in the morning light. So different from the cramped studio she'd lived in before. Before everything changed. You ready? Daniel called from the living room. Anna took a deep breath. As ready as I'll ever be. Today was the dedication ceremony. The Sarah Hastings Memorial Foundation for Truth and Justice was officially opening its doors, a nonprofit dedicated to protecting whistleblowers and supporting families affected by corporate corruption. Funded entirely by the liquidation of Hastings Industries' assets. Anna emerged to find Daniel waiting, looking sharp in his suit. 6 months had transformed him too. No longer the corporate CEO, he now ran a consulting firm helping companies implement ethical business practices. Mom's already there, he said. She texted 3 times to make sure we weren't going to be late. Anna smiled. Victoria had thrown herself into the foundation with fierce dedication, as if trying to make up for decades of willful blindness. She and Anna had grown close, not replacing the mother Anna lost, but building something new. Something real. Family. The ceremony was held in a beautiful downtown building. As they arrived, Anna saw the banner. The Sarah Hastings Memorial Foundation. In memory of those who gave everything for truth. Tears pricked her eyes. Inside, the space was packed. Reporters, activists, former Hastings employees who'd been cleared of wrongdoing and wanted to show support. And there, in the front row, sat Victoria, Rachel, and Agent Martinez, the women who'd helped bring her mother's truth to light. Anna. Victoria rose, pulling her into a tight hug. You look beautiful, darling. Thanks, Grandma, Anna said, and watched Victoria's eyes fill with happy tears. She never got tired of hearing that word. Rachel was documenting everything with her camera. Her article about the Hastings scandal had won a Pulitzer Prize. But more importantly, it had inspired dozens of other whistleblowers to come forward in different industries. Sarah's courage had sparked a movement. You should say a few words, Rachel said. People want to hear from you. Anna's stomach tightened. I don't know what to say. You'll figure it out, Daniel assured her. You always do. The ceremony began. The foundation's director, a former federal prosecutor, spoke about corporate accountability. A senator who'd survived the scandal by cooperating with investigators talked about redemption. Then it was Anna's turn. She walked to the podium on shaky legs, looking out at the crowd. So many faces. So many people whose lives had been touched by her mother's story. My mother was 19 when she discovered the truth about her family's business, Anna began, her voice stronger than she felt. She could have ignored it. Could have lived a comfortable life. But she chose differently. She paused, gathering courage. She chose truth over comfort. Justice over safety. And for that choice, she spent 20 years running. 20 years looking over her shoulder. 20 years living in fear. Anna's voice cracked. She died when I was 8. And for 15 years after that, I didn't understand why we'd lived the way we did. Why she was always so scared. Why she never talked about her past. She pulled out the necklace, her mother's necklace, and held it up. This necklace held the truth for 20 years. A tiny SD card with evidence that would eventually bring down one of America's most powerful families. My mother wore it every day, carrying that weight, protecting that secret. Anna clasped it around her neck. She taught me that some things are worth fighting for. That the truth matters, even when it costs everything. Especially when it costs everything. She looked at Victoria, at Daniel, at Rachel and Martinez. My mother didn't live to see justice done. But she made it possible. And this foundation, this building, this mission, it's her legacy. It's for everyone who's ever stood up against corruption and paid the price. For everyone who's ever been afraid to speak truth to power. Anna's voice grew stronger. We're here to say, you're not alone. Your courage matters. Your truth matters. And we will protect you the way my mother should have been protected. The applause was thunderous. As Anna stepped away from the podium, she felt a hand on her shoulder. She turned to find a young woman, maybe 22, with tears in her eyes. I work for a pharmaceutical company, the woman whispered. I found evidence they've been falsifying drug trial data. People are dying because of it. I've been too scared to say anything, but after hearing your story. She took a shaky breath. I want to report it. Can you help me? Anna felt her mother's presence like a warm hand on her back. Yes, she said firmly. We can absolutely help you. And she meant it. Comment below, how does this ending make you feel? Let me know. And if you love this story, subscribe for more incredible stories like this one. Fire. 3 months later. Anna sat in a coffee shop, laptop open, working on her graduate school application. She'd decided to study law, to learn how to fight the battles her mother had fought, but with the tools to win them. Her phone buzzed. A text from Daniel. Board meeting went well. The foundation just secured another major grant. Mom wants to celebrate. Dinner tonight? Anna smiled and texted back. I'll be there. Tell Grandma I'm bringing someone. She glanced across the table at James, a paralegal she'd met through the foundation, kind and honest and completely removed from the world of wealth and corruption. They'd been dating for 2 months, taking things slow, building something real. Something her mother would have approved of. Good news? James asked. Family dinner tonight, Anna said. Want to come? Fair warning, my grandmother will interrogate you and my brother will probably run a background check. James laughed. Sounds terrifying. I'm in. That evening, they gathered at Victoria's penthouse, the one thing she'd kept from her old life, though she'd redecorated completely, removing every trace of Thomas Hastings. The dining room was warm with laughter and conversation. Victoria had cooked, something she'd never done before her old life fell apart, but now found therapeutic. To Sarah, Victoria said, raising her glass. Who taught us all what real courage looks like? To Mom, Daniel echoed. To my mother, Anna added, her voice thick with emotion. Who gave me everything. They drank, and Anna felt the weight she'd carried for so long finally lift. After dinner, she found herself on the balcony, looking out at the city lights. Victoria joined her, wrapping a shawl around Anna's shoulders. She'd be so proud of you, Victoria said softly. My daughter. Your mother. She'd be so incredibly proud. I wish she could see this, Anna said. See what came from her sacrifice. I think she can, Victoria said. I think she's been watching over you all along. Anna touched the necklace at her throat. She wore it every day now, not as a burden, but as a reminder. The pharmaceutical company whistleblower we helped last month? Anna said. The FDA just announced a full investigation. They're recalling 3 drugs that were hurting people. Because of you, Victoria said. Because you gave her the courage to speak up. Because Mom gave me the courage to help her, Anna corrected. They stood in comfortable silence, grandmother and granddaughter, bound by loss but strengthened by love. I've been thinking, Victoria said carefully. About selling the penthouse. It has too many memories. Too many ghosts. Where would you go? Anna asked. Victoria smiled. I was thinking somewhere closer to you. Maybe we could look for places together? I've missed so much of your life already. I'd like to be part of your future. Anna felt tears spring to her eyes. I'd like that too. Inside, Daniel was showing James photos on his phone, probably embarrassing childhood pictures, knowing him. Rachel was there too, having become a regular fixture at family dinners. This was her family now. Imperfect. Complicated. Built from the ashes of lies and tragedy. But real. And worth everything. 1 year later. Anna walked across the stage to accept her award, the Sarah Hastings Medal for Whistleblower Advocacy, given to individuals who'd shown exceptional courage in exposing corruption. She was the first recipient. In the audience, Victoria beamed with pride. Daniel cheered loudly, embarrassing himself. James held up his phone, recording everything. And Rachel sat with her laptop, already writing the story about how the daughter of a murdered whistleblower had become a champion for justice. In her acceptance speech, Anna spoke about the 127 whistleblowers the foundation had protected in its first year. About the corrupt officials brought down. The lives saved. The truth revealed. My mother started this fight alone, Anna concluded. But none of us have to fight alone anymore. That's her gift to us. That's her legacy. The standing ovation lasted 5 minutes. Afterward, as they celebrated at a restaurant, Anna's phone rang. Unknown number. She answered cautiously. Hello? Miss Bennett? You don't know me, but I'm a researcher at a defense contractor. I found evidence of illegal weapons testing on civilian populations. I'm terrified, but I saw your speech and I thought. The voice broke. Can you help me? Anna looked around the table at her family, the family her mother's courage had given her. Yes, she said firmly. Tell me everything. We'll help you. Because that's what they did now. That's what Sarah's sacrifice had made possible. Justice. Truth. Protection for those brave enough to speak it. And as Anna listened to another whistleblower's story, she felt her mother's presence stronger than ever. You did it, baby girl, she could almost hear Sarah whisper. You finished what I started. No, Mom, Anna thought back. We're just getting started. 5 years later, epilogue. The Sarah Hastings Memorial Foundation occupied an entire building now, with offices in 12 cities and a staff of over 100. Anna stood in her corner office, director of advocacy, reviewing case files. She'd finished law school 2 years ago and passed the bar on her first try. Her mother's daughter, through and through. A photo on her desk showed her wedding day, James in a tux, looking nervous and happy. Victoria officiating, having gotten ordained online specifically for the occasion. Daniel as best man. Rachel as maid of honor. Another photo showed Anna and Victoria at the cemetery, placing flowers on Jennifer Walsh's grave. They went together every year on the anniversary. And there, in a place of honor, was the necklace under glass, the sapphire pendant that had held the truth for 20 years. They'd donated it to the Foundation's museum, along with the original documents and her mother's video testimony. So no one would forget. So Sarah's story would inspire others. Anna's assistant knocked. "There's someone here to see you. Says it's urgent." A young man entered, barely 20, eyes wide with fear. "I work for a tech company," he stammered. "They're selling user data to foreign governments. I have proof, but I'm scared. Everyone says you're the person who can help." Anna smiled, the same determined smile her mother had worn in that final video. "Sit down," she said gently. "Tell me everything. And don't worry, you're not alone anymore." As the young man began his story, Anna touched the wedding ring on her finger, inscribed inside with words from her mother's letter. "Truth matters. Justice matters." It was her mother's voice. Her grandmother's strength. Her brother's integrity. And her own courage. All of it woven together into a legacy that would outlive them all. Sarah Hastings had died protecting the truth. But through her daughter, she'd created an army of truth-tellers. And the fight she'd started alone would continue, louder, stronger, with more voices joining the chorus every day. Justice wasn't just a destination. It was a journey. And Anna Bennett, formerly Anna Hastings, daughter of a hero, was going to make damn sure no one ever had to walk it alone again. The end. Thank you so much for joining me on Anna's incredible journey. If this story moved you, please hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling me what you thought. Which part made you cry? Which twist shocked you the most? I want to hear it all. Share this story with someone who needs to hear it. Because just like Sarah taught us, the truth matters. Your truth matters. And remember, you're stronger than you know, braver than you believe, and you are so loved. Until the next story, my beautiful souls. Gemstone Fire.